show you right there in the paper that I opened up all practice and half everybody left. Now, am I right or wrong?
Yeah,
they don't want to stay.
Yeah, these are the serious people.
No, I always have been.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like you got to filter out the bad walk-ons.
Exactly.
Yeah, see who's left after.
Guys that work hard. But good effort today. Had some things, I thought we'd come out just a little bit lackadaisical, then we picked it up. And I thought the quarterbacks early and individual a little bit, they're not consistent like I would on air, but then we got the team and got on a little bit, and then all of a sudden I love the way they responded back and came back and played and led and didn't let things bother them, which I like to see that. When you get on a guy, does he pout? Does he move on? Does he do that? And very proud of the way that I thought they responded back. I thought some of our offensive skill guys were starting to make some plays. Those receivers are really learning all the spots. What they're being now, they're being interchangeable, so you can move them around and create more ways to get them the ball. And that's why I like practicing like this. When you only got 3 of them, 3 and 3 on each field, then they have to play wide. They have to play T. They have to play Z. It forces them to learn all the positions. And what that does allows you guys to get hot. You can move them to positions where you can get them the ball more. And very pleased with their maturity and what they're doing right now. I thought the line's getting better. Bobby Hart's jumping. I thought Bobby had a decent day today from what I saw on film. But we got to continue to get better there. The backs continues to do good things. Mario jumps. He's explosive and he's playing. Of course, 8 and 32 are just running really well. I think just being consistent. Nick O'Leary had some nice catches in the red zone. It was a real good red zone.
Hey, bro, y'all hey, man, I put the receivers, man.
Defensively, Jimmy Joyner playing well. The 2 linebackers, Telvin and Christian Jones, jumped at me. I thought Mario Edwards had his best day he's had in a while. I really thought that guy's a powerful son. He can be a really big force in there. Very pleased with that. Young Carlos really starting to moving him around different positions, safety and nickel and star linebacker. Really Dan Hicks and Cash and those young guys are coming on. But those young tackles, Eddie Goldman, I was pleased with. I thought today's practice was pretty well. Roberto really kicking the ball well, and I thought Casey punted it well. I thought they hit it well. So I was pleased with the practice. We'll look at the film, and there'll be more mistakes there than you see, and some good things you didn't see. But from an overall standpoint, I love our attitude and our ability to keep fighting against each other and competing in practice. I like this team's attitude.
How do you feel like they're grasping, the defense is grasping everything?
I think they are, because there's some base things though. They're getting some different complex blitzes, and I tell you what, it's creating things for us on that blitz pack. We're going to be used to all the different looks and things that can happen to us. they're going to bust a few things here and there, but they got to do that to get that timing down. But they keep adding to it, and I'm very pleased. I think they're getting a good grasp of what's going on. And most of our veterans are in there. That's a pretty tough group to go against.
Speaking of casing of the punting, I know you guys are using that protection. You didn't use it all the time last year, but you use it really often.
It helps us. It does, and it covers. We're doing even some different things now, and I don't want to get into it, but it lets us cover down the field better. Our snappers, Dumar's doing a good job. In casing, we've shortened him up. Shortened his steps up and got him more compact, so he's more consistent, because sometimes you get elongated. Some things you're doing, and he's done a real nice job of making that adjustment, getting the ball off a tenth or two quicker, but even being more consistent in his kicks, because it's the shortness and tightening him up. It's allowing him to be much more consistent and more powerful.
What are you seeing from the defensive end? They're standing up a little bit more. It seems like
if you go back, if you ever really watched us last year, and I'm not pointing, we stood 95 and 49, and those guys did a lot of those things. They're still in the 4-3 defense, but we'll stand them up and run twist games, and we'll match them when they can get on a running back. You can match. You're changing the personnel where some of those guys are getting matched up on the back, and sometimes those big guys on a little guy can create some mismatches. It's not a 3-4; it's still a 4-3. We're just adjusting some alignments and playing some games in there, and some pass rush games that really help us out.
You touched on Nick, and I talked to Coach Fisher yesterday, I guess, and he was kind of saying that one of the things he wants to see from Nick is maybe a little bit more focus on the nuance, the little things, because he does the big stuff well.
Because if he does that, boy, and he gets those little things, he's really tough to handle. You know what I'm saying? He's really tough to handle. And that's when you become a junior, that's the thing, before people don't realize, even though you're productive when you're young, you really don't really grasp, just the maturity of being a junior and senior. Just when you can play with a lot of juniors and seniors on your team, you usually execute better, more consistent, because the details are more refined. And I think that's the challenge for him right now, and I think he's doing a nice job.
And you had mentioned before about, especially without Lonnie here, maybe running a few more of the 2 tight end sets or moving Nick around. And how much does Hapley's progress play into that?
Really, Happel is doing a good. Him and Christo. Happel is really, I think, having. Last year he came in here. He's just hard to adjust. He got thrown in the fire quickly, and you're starting to see a very consistent physical guy catching the ball. He made more catches in these 3 days than he made the whole year last year. And I don't mean that as a slight. He's really doing good things. And Christo, can be those adjustment guys too. So I've been and those guys are making progress. We got a ways to go, but I like how they're developing.
Does it seem like they're having a lot of fun playing against these guys, blitzing and?
They do, because I mean, you don't get the same, different looks and and it challenges you mentally. You can't relax in practice. You know what I'm saying? To get to say, because if you don't, they're going to get embarrassed by a look or something that goes on.
I need to talk a little bit about the leadership, getting that leadership out of the backfield for James. This is James' first, I guess, full spring.
It is.
How important is it for him to kind of get through this?
It is, because it's a maturing stage. And again, the consistency level. That's the thing with him and Devontae now, of not missing cuts, of not missing blocks, and doing things like that. And they're getting much, much better at that.
I'm sure that it'd be great for everybody if James never had to go through any of the stuff that he went through. It seems like he learned so much from that.
It makes you grow. When you deal with adversity and you realize that things can be taken away from you, you're not doing those things. Some things you take for granted. You know what I mean? And as a person, that's part of growing up. We all have to make mistakes. I mean, everyone had instances when you were in college and you did a couple bonehead things that hopefully didn't destroy us, but we learned from them and we moved on from them.